Hello, my friends, and I hope you are having a fantastic day. So, I wanted to cover again a developer doing something positive, saying something positive, a developer actually supporting the ideas of what we actually want to see developers doing in gaming. And yes, I have covered him before, so oh my god, shocker, wow, here he is again. Okay. But I don't like to talk about the bad people all the time, so I'm gonna be trying to, as I come across it, talk about when I see people doing what I think is the objectively right thing. And so here we have, again, Thomas Mahler, who I am really just beginning to like more and more until the day I find out he did something real fucked up. But, you know, no one's perfect. And he just, he posted this because apparently he had some thoughts. So I'm just going to go ahead and read it. I'm still every now and then getting questions on whether we force DEI stuff into the games we're making. So let me be clear once and for all. Absolutely not. And you can't really be much more clear than that. I mean, here's a guy who has just come out, laid it all on the table, no matter what the reaction of other game industry people are going to be, no matter what the games journalist has to say. He's just come out and said, no. And he goes on, I find that approach entirely perverted. I am an artist. I would rather quit than have someone else tell me how we should do our art. That would make a mockery out of everything I believe in. I have been very much outspoken on how I feel about consulting, and I still feel very strongly that if people haven't lived the process and don't have to think about the issue at hand 24/7, they will always deliver worse work than those who do. When it comes to the stories we're telling, I always approach it from a human angle first and foremost, and let the story tell me where it needs to go. If it tickles me to have a gay character in our story, and I feel like that character could be fascinating, then I will push for that. But I would never make a character gay simply because some outside party told me that it's hip to do so, and we might face backlash if we don't. Art fundamentally doesn't work that way. Everyone has stories inside of them that are based on the experiences that they have lived through in their lives. And to me, what elevates art beyond just craft is when you've reflected enough to know who you are and then let those stories out, because those experiences that you lived through are most likely experiences that other people can relate to, that will speak to them in a profound manner, because they're real. Ori and the Blind Forest in many ways was about me reflecting on what it was like to see my father dying of cancer when I was 10 and being grateful to my mom. Wisps, on the other hand, was written when we all started to have kids in the studio and imagining what it would be like to have a kid with a disability. I wrote the first draft of No Rest for the Wicked quite some time ago, and that also came from a very specific place. I hope that clarifies it for everybody. I've had to learn the hard way what it means to be an artist, and I'd never let anyone take that away from me. And that is the type of passion that is missing in gaming. From the top to the bottom there, it is this just passion for what he's doing, passion for the stories he's making, passion for what he's developing, and a desire to share them in a fun, interactive way that people enjoy or should enjoy or hopefully will enjoy. Even if you aren't trying to push innovation forward in terms of what some type of fantastic new gameplay mechanic, which, I mean, honestly, the industry is sorely lacking for that. With the huge leaps in hardware and software technologies, there's no reason we shouldn't be doing some fucking amazing things in games right now, except for the fact nobody is brave enough. Nobody out there has the balls to go out there and try to figure out what it would be. Unfortunately, I am not a person who knows how to do any of that stuff, so I can't do it. I'm stuck waiting for somebody else to figure it out. Maybe someday I'll give it a shot. I very much appreciated Madame Savvy's response here, where she said, "Thank you for sharing your words. I was talking to someone who was supposed to be a creative director who insisted he didn't think people could write authentic stories without having some lived experience. It was very strange, and I thought, my goodness, how can characters even be created then by this person? I don't know who imposed these restrictions on people, or the idea that someone can't write a type of character without some consultant. The free market determines success, but I really do believe every single person is capable of telling a story. Bogus sensitivity readers and concept of globalization is stifling creatives. Someone will always be offended by art, even the most innocent of images. And it is sad. I really thought by 2024 things would be better than in 2009, not worse. It isn't even enough for the type who demand censorship and checkboxes to have forced diversity. They won't even let you tell something that they deem problematic. It's crazy how they go off about things they don't like, instead of realizing fiction is just that. Fiction. A glorious playground of fantasy and make-believe. Thomas goes on to respond, how did Shakespeare write all these fascinating female characters then? It boggles the mind, which is absolutely true. Shakespeare was not a woman. However, Taming of the Shrew, excellent play with a very smart and interesting woman protagonist. Savvy responds, and J.K. Rowling, I didn't know she was a 15-year-old boy who could perform magic. The list goes on for incredible writers throughout history. I feel so sorry for anyone who has been told they couldn't write something or create a story. I hope they find their confidence one day. Thomas's response is thinking that only a woman can write an interesting female character is just, I don't like to speak that way online. It's naive at best and ignorant at worst. If a male writer can write female characters such as Beatrice or Lady Macbeth, to me, that's case closed. And he's, again, right. And so is Savvy. My favorite authors span the spectrum of both sexes. So I know female authors who have written amazing male characters and male authors who have written amazing female characters. I know female authors who have written amazing animal characters, and same with the male ones, back and forth. They both can write anything. Being able to tell a story, more importantly. Because obviously storytelling isn't just writing. There is writing involved in just about every form of storytelling. But if you're going to tell a story outside of just a book, there's other things to consider. And that is part of, at that point, telling the story, obviously. But we are so far off in video games now that they have these entire giant teams. And not only do they have these teams have consultants, and these consultants do weird things like read for sensitivity. And you are never going to create an amazing story that offends no one. There is no such thing as an amazing story that hasn't pissed somebody off. But this design by committee thing that, especially in the AAA studios, it's not just the AAA studios, but especially in the AAA studios, is causing a problem. I don't believe art by committee has ever worked, and I don't believe it ever will. Yeah, a couple people can write a good story together. I think you could probably stretch that to a maximum of 3 or 4 people tops. But when you start involving too many people, and you start involving people who are there just specifically to tell you what offends somebody in your story, then it doesn't work. Part of art is offending people. Making people feel is an important part of art. I don't care who you are. I don't care what argument you have for me. Video games are art. Entertainment is an art, whether it is a book, a movie, a play, a video game. These are all things meant to stimulate our emotions and our minds, and that is art. I look forward to finding more people who treat their work with passion and who treat their customers with respect and believe that their customers can handle the passion that they want to give to the project, and realize that we do in fact want to see things that people have poured their love into. I'm seeing it slowly but surely through various independent creators. Thomas Mahler, Artur of Soul Ash are two who immediately spring to mind. Perkypile, I've been watching what he's been doing, and he is very passionate about the work he is putting in. All of the ones who seem very adamant about staying a smaller company seem to be faring better in terms of what they're putting into their games. But I just wanted to share this with you guys to show that there are developers who think this way. And yeah, I guess it's not a surprise from Mahler, but still, I think it is important to talk about it when it comes up, encourage it, especially when the entire game ecosystem seems eager to push against them and push them down. I find it very important to specifically uplift the people saying these things so that we can show them that, yes, this is what we want, and not the bullshit you're trying to shovel down us. All that said, I want to thank everybody so very much for spending your time here on the channel and listening to me babble on, and would like to extend a reminder that if you are interested in supporting the channel, you can become a member down in the description. If you are not someone who likes to support through YouTube, I do have a Ko-Fi down there. And if you are someone looking for just an entirely separate way to support, I also have a Throne wish list. I do, however, want to extend a special thanks to those who are members on the channel. That is DX Machina NZ, Emperor Doomsday, Zanzoltan, Snake Oil Sean, Schmitted, Almog, Green-Haired Anti-Liberal, Michael Wheeler, D-Day Direwolf, Felix, Mechanical Cats, Drew Cipher, Cloud Strife, Soulblade Hero, Dragon Cross 89, Mark Cochran, Raging Bull, McCock, General Edgelord, Dave Sanchez, and Stormborn. Thank you all so much for being supporters. I would also like to extend a special thanks to Silver, who has supported through Ko-Fi. I deeply appreciate all of your support. And again, thank you all who spend your most precious of commodities here with me, your time. That means more than I can possibly express. All that said, I look forward to hearing your thoughts down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. If you really liked it, you can feel free to share it around, and I will catch you later.